Hey everyone, I'm Eric.
And I'm Lisa.
Thanks for joining us. We're live here at the Love Shack.
We're authors of Habits That Create a Happy, Excited, Confident You. This is our new book. We just got out, something dear to our hearts. We've been working on it for the last 2 years.
Yep. We help conscious couples create relationship harmony so they can have a great life.
Today we're talking about 3 common mistakes conscious couples make that destroy their relationships and how to avoid them once and for all.
Yeah. No clarity and direction, ineffective use of communication, and marriage that fix everything.
This really something we can relate to because in general, it's all about having that vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to say, do you feel like a new kid at school here?
Yeah,
This is our first radio show.
Yeah, we're nervous.
And if you ever been a new kid at school, I was when I was younger. I went to a lot of schools. And my voice is shaking, my knees are a little wobbly, but this is so wonderful of us because this is a vision that we've had of sharing, our stories and our struggles and, our vision with you.
Yep. We're really stepping out of our comfort zone. It's, some of the stuff that if you really want to get ahead in life and have that growth, you really have to step out of your comfort zone. It's hard, but...
Yeah. And it really helps us go back to, those mistakes and through our struggles and those keeping that vision and having that clarity through that, communication and really enjoying our marriage together.
Yeah, we didn't have a very good start. I personally grew up with parents that separated, and my father was an alcoholic. He wasn't a mean drunk or anything, but it's just one of those things you hate to see people, suffer and do bad things to themselves. And, I was kind of independent, so I kind of spent a lot of time outside and worked as much as I could when I got older. And Lisa, too, she had some...
Could explain why you like the outside so much.
Yeah.
But me, too. My dad was an alcoholic, and there was a lot of disagreements. There wasn't a lot of harmony in the house. We had a great growing up, and we had, a lot of fun. There was a lot of disharmony, parents fighting, things I didn't know about.
My dad was a Vietnam vet, too.
Yeah, with my dad being a Vietnam vet, I didn't understand this when I was younger. I always thought, maybe they were fighting over us kids or, did we do something wrong? So that's really when I started to really take things a little personally, and I didn't understand it. But now that I'm older and I understand, and my dad really communicates with me about it, I understand why now he had some of that, some of that stuff built up that, I didn't know about. So that it caused, it caused problems with my parents. And I knew from my vision when I was younger that I didn't want that in my relationship.
Yeah, the service trains them how to fight, but they don't train them how to come back home. There's really no winners in war, only survivors, and that really affects a lot of people. It's more common than I think people realize.
So I myself, when I was younger, I spent a lot of time outside, and just really on my own. And I think that's where today our connection with being outside comes to. We're really playing with our kids. Even, through our 7 years of dairy farming,
Yep.
It was a part of being outside. And so this is really where, our story began.
Yep.
Of struggle.
Yeah, shortly after we were married, I followed one of my dreams was to have my own dairy farm. Like I said, I grew up outside a lot and liked the animals, had horses and cows and pigs and chickens and stuff growing up. So I kind of followed that because I know society doesn't really teach us how to, follow and pursue our passions and, the avenues that give us the most growth. So I kind of followed what I was comfortable with. So I knew, cows and farming, so I kind of went with that. So that was quite the journey for us. We spent 7 years dairy farming, 7 days a week, just me and Lisa for the most part. No days off, including holidays. If we were out of the barn, it was because we were so sick we couldn't get out of bed. But other than that, we were there 7 days a week.
Yeah. During this time, we when we started the dairy farm, we really knew what we wanted to do. We had a vision. We went out and we got it. But one thing we didn't realize that came with having our own business and being entrepreneurs at that time was how everything got placed on you. The financial part of
there's
it.
no money in farming. If you ever heard that, it's true. There's no money in farming.
I mean, I jumped in as, I guess you would say, a city girl. I brought me to a couple of farms when we were dating, but at that time I really did I was like, oh, what's this life like? So I had an idea of what I was getting into when we got married and we started farming, but I really wasn't sure. I didn't know how stressful it was, 7 days a week. The responsibility of being at a place at a certain time. The financial part of it was really difficult. There's certain things that you want in life, but it always seemed like we were just living milk check by milk check. We didn't.
Yeah. At that point, we really didn't start on our spiritual journey. We had started to a little bit, but we didn't really dive deep into it until after we sold the cows. So at that point, we were, we let other people's drama and influences and what they said, influence our decisions and ultimately affected us in a negative way. And then we would blame other people, thinking, they caused our problem because we listened to what they said. And, it really made for a lot of drama and, affected us personally too in a relationship level because, we would say things, talk to each other or not talk to each other and then maybe get upset at each other, then we wouldn't talk, and then we'd go to bed mad at night, and then we'd be in these slumps I remember, it
seemed like days where we just, there was communication, but there was only sometimes communication about the farm. There was a lack of communication on how we were feeling, how stress was, what the stress was putting on us. Yeah. It had to do a lot with the business and a lot of, and being farmers, sometimes I was in the barn, sometimes you were out in the field. We were in two different places. So really, it did put more stress on us with the communication. We didn't get to talk those things out. A lot of times we would go to bed mad or upset at each other because we didn't take the time to talk and work those problems out.
They were like little mini depressions where we feel sorry for ourselves and, then get mad at ourselves because we're not doing anything about it.
There was times I cried in the bathroom without him knowing. But it was, it was at that point where, there wasn't a lack, there was, the support was there, but it was there for the foundation of the farm.
Right, not the relationship, which, would come after we sold the cows. Pretty much we sold the cows. It wasn't really a passion for me, so, we did a good job and all, but it wasn't like we had the drive to really do, extraordinary, like you think you would want to do. But, it just, one thing left to another. And
at this time, we were still letting other people's influences come into our lives.
Yep.
We had our first daughter, we had our daughter.
Yep.
So we were still at that point where we were struggling to survive. So we were in survival mode.
Yeah.
We were by no means at this point in passion mode at all.
Yeah,
we could barely get up to go to the farm. There was no drive there.
Right. And it didn't help that we rented the farm too, so we didn't really, we were always at someone's mercy. So it really wasn't a good situation.
And we were depending a lot on caffeine.
Yep.
Sugar. We were not living the healthiest of diet at our for being farmers, especially.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we ate like 6 or 7 times a day.
Yeah, we were basically living off of pure survival mode.
Yep.
And we went through that struggle, and it was hard for us to let go of the farm and let go of the animals because of the fact it was a lifestyle.
We were identified with the farm.
We were stable in the stability that we had some place to go.
Yep.
We had work, but we weren't happy at doing it, and there was a lot of financial issues at this time. So it was really at this point that we were going through all the depressions, the mini depressions. We'd come back a week later, we'd say, why did we do that to ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, why? How did we get down in these slumps? How did we get to this point is what we really started to ask ourselves. You know, and even during the time after we sold the farm was our biggest,
You thought the farm was challenging?
it was quite challenging.
Yeah, now, because, like I said, there was no money, so we got so far into debt, we had to file for bankruptcy, which, pretty much up until that time, I always, and Lisa did too, we always had great credit. It was almost nearly perfect, and, you kind of identify yourself with that too, oh my God, I'm going to lose my credit, and oh man, now what? And, we'll have to go work for people, and that doesn't work for us either because we're so independent and we want to help people. That's one reason why we're here today is we really feel passionate about helping people.
You think when you get married, everything is fixed.
Yep.
Like you have your wedding, your dream wedding. I walked down the aisle and married, this wonderful man. We weren't best friends at that time.
Nope.
And think that the marriage is going to fix everything, but you really realize it's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's really the beginning. So then we had a new beginning when we had to face this, financial crisis of filing bankruptcy. Our little guy was born at this time.
Yep.
And so we, there was times where we were scratching for money. We had to turn to the church for food and diapers, and we never thought we would be at this point in our lives. And it was a really great challenge for us.
Family members helped?
Yes, family members helped us. A lot of gratitude, for all that stuff. But where were we at? We didn't even know where we were at.
Kind of just floated around, That's why the vision is so important. If you're just kind of floating out there, let's say you're a sailboat out in the ocean, you have no direction, where's the, set your sails and your rudder, you're just out there floating around, subject to storms and everything else. But if you have a plan and a vision, it doesn't necessarily have to be a plan, but, an idea of what you want.
And it was at this time where this was the biggest
turning point
in our relationship.
Yeah, because after we sold the farm, we really started to be, my father had passed away a few years before we sold the farm, and at that point I started researching, because I wasn't really a believer or a disbeliever. I was kind of agnostic because when I was growing up, I used to have, real affection with Jesus. So I used to pray every night, and then one time I had asked that my parents would not split up, get a divorce, and I really, like I said, I hate seeing people suffer in pain and argue, and I'm always, I avoid conflict anytime I can. I just, peaceful. But I see my parents split up after that, and I kind of lost, I stopped that spiritual journey I started when I was a kid. So my parents didn't really force a religion on us or, a church or anything like that. They kind of want us to decide what we want to do for ourselves. But after my father had passed away, I realized at his coffin that my parents were indeed not divorced. I realized, wow, the universe is very specific in how they answer your prayers. So that kind of got me going on my spiritual journey again, and I started researching everything, near-death experiences, first of all, and how amazing they were across the board of, didn't matter what religion they were, they all kind of had the same thing going across.
Yeah.
And started meditating and psychic classes and Kunlun workshop.
Yeah, we really started, these amazing journeys separately.
Yeah, so I kind of started first, and Lisa kind of trailed behind a little bit. But then that kind of led us to not supporting each other.
Right. And I started to feel, oh my goodness, if he's on this amazing journey, where am I?
Yep.
Where am I? Because at this time, I was a mom. We had just made biggest change in our life. I was a wife, but I didn't feel me. I said, wow, if he's finding him, how come where am I? I just didn't know where I fit in at this time with myself, really.
Yeah. Yep. So I was on Facebook. On Facebook you connect with a lot of like-minded people. So I started chatting with this one girl, and she was kind of like the same level I was. So I started talking more and more and more. The next thing you know, the relationship is drifting, and we're not sure where we're going with it.
Right. I mean, jealousy was there big time.
Yep.
I have to admit, I was like, how can he be sharing all this stuff with, another person, not just another person, another woman? I mean, for me at this point, I was like, sitting there doing dishes, wondering, who's he talking to for so long? What's he doing? And I really kind of started to kind of feel in a way, unsupportive with the kids, unsupportive with the house chores, the responsibilities of being a parent. I was feeling really, really alone at this point, and it was hard. It was very difficult to go through.
Within that speaking with that other woman there, she had mentioned how she had been physically abused, and then that opened up a whole can of worms that I never expected.
Well, at this point, I was like, how can another woman be so open with him? And I had to come to realize this was my own self-reflection. I wasn't getting it. I realized it afterwards because I, too, had been sexually molested and raped and abused when I was younger. I had never told anybody, a living soul, about this. I had kept it in for 20 years, and I hadn't even told Eric out of fear, basically fear of how his response would be. It wasn't the best thing to do. I thought I had closed the door on it, and I wanted the door to stay closed. I never realized how much this had been hurting myself when I was younger, but it also was hurting the people around me. I mean, I always believed that my parents, maybe, my dad knew if something happened, but he wasn't going to ask me about it. But I was afraid and I was ashamed to tell anybody. And what hurt the most was I was afraid to tell my own husband, but another woman can tell something that, I needed to tell him. So basically, this is when it all came out at this turning point. I mean, this was the biggest turning point in our relationship that we could have ever experienced. I say universe has its timing. I always call it. I said universe has its timing. Like I said, I never thought this door would be open. I wanted it to stay closed. But it was, what an experience with it being open. I never really truly knew how much I was holding myself back.
Yeah, right.
This was the biggest point in our relationship that really just started to transform my spiritual journey. I had really opened up to a lot of things that were never there before. Yeah. And I started to see myself, it got me all messed up. I don't know where we were at. Sorry, guys.
Anyhow, for me, I kind of felt hurt and betrayed by this, but, I understood where it was coming from, so I didn't want to, have her feel, I didn't want to have her feel bad or anything for that, so we decided that, what, we have so much in our relationship now, and Lisa is the person I want to spend my life with, so we want to renew our vows, have a vision for our relationship, and move forward from here, because, we can start anything new in the moment now, the present moment.
Well, I thought it was really nice how, and the way I felt with you drifting, mm-hmm. I had to come to realize that, I played a big part in this, mm-hmm. but I didn't realize it at the time. But, I did feel hurt with you drifting. Let's face it, it's easy to do. It's mm-hmm. easy to drift away.
It is.
But I really loved how you embraced what I was going through with a very open heart. I mean, you asked questions, I answered them, and you really embraced it. I mean, everything that I went through during this point, it was so amazing to have at this time somebody who really I felt supported by, that was like, oh my gosh, this is my best friend. I mean, let's face it, he was my best friend, and this this only enhanced what we already had.
Mm-hmm.
So it was at this time that we decided, because it was right around the time of our anniversary,
Yep.
our wedding anniversary, so we decided, actually it was Eric's idea, really wonderful. He said, let's renew our vows in a different way. Leave not the church wedding. Let's do something really connected.
They're more spiritual.
And so we planned this beautiful, beautiful ceremony that had our very close family and friends join in on, and it was a Celtic hand fasting ceremony. So it was very connected. We had our children a part of it, which was really nice, because now we were not connecting just as a couple. We were connecting as a family, a whole unit.
Yeah, what was awesome, too, is the family members and friends got to participate also, too.
Yeah, and that was really nice for us, because, we everybody was in a circle, and we felt so much love and support to what we were recreating, because now we were recreating something so wonderful and so beautiful. So, it really tuned us into this great new connection that because, let's face it, we have watched so many family and friends of ours disconnect and even split apart. A few have come back together. And this really has affected us in a way that we're like, wow, you can recreate anything at any time.
Yep.
That's the beautiful gift of life, is you can recreate and have, anything you want at any time. You really can have that great life. So we took that from that ceremony, and we have really transformed our relationship with more communication, that understanding, that heartfelt understanding. We have a vision for, what we want to do, where our lives are going. We have the trust like never before. But, we have this
communication is awesome.
This amazing connection, great sex, and, and especially with our kids, we started to see not only us on this journey, but we started to see, more awareness in ourselves of what we could do, of what we're capable of. We started exploring more of the spiritual stuff, Reiki, a lot of stuff. It really opened us up, and it opened up our kids too. Really, it's a beautiful journey that we're all taking together.
And not only in this life, we had some past lives done, and it's amazing how much your families and friends that you're really close to are actually in lives. We shared lives together over and over and over again, playing different roles, and that really opened us really up, because we had me in particular, I had one past life done that was so detailed. I was able to go look myself up and find myself in a previous life, which was it just blew me away, and it just really opened my awareness up to a whole new level, and
Well, I think the messages that you get in this life and your past life have to do a lot, because what you're experiencing at this moment in your life is like messages to help you get on your journey in life and take action and have that vision, take action on your vision. And, it's we say it's all part of the plan, but it really is part of the plan.
It is. And that's where we come up with our 5 steps to manifest.
And this is truly our own manifest plan that we have come up with through everything we've learned through our own journey, through going through what we've gone through.
Yep. First of all, you have to identify what you want and where you want to go. That vision. Not only just a vision for what you want to do, but who do you want to become? What person do you want to be remembered as? You get to the end of your life and say, you know what? I want to be remembered as this, or I've done this. It's not about fame or glory or riches. It's about,
it's about truly making a difference.
Difference and having that choosing, choices and compassion.
We see it, the difference that we make just in our own family life with our kids, and, the relationships with people around us have changed. It really does make a difference.
And that leads us to the next part, where you actually have the present reality. You have to learn how to accept present reality for what it is, not what you want it to be. That is so crucial, including yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't love yourself or, tell people the truth. How do you expect people to respond to you in a truthful and loving way?
Yeah, I can really relate to this because I went through the honesty part and it didn't face reality of something that happened, 20 years ago in my life. I didn't face reality then. It was time to face reality now. And through that facing reality, I also find myself, who I was. I started to see myself in a different way. I started to see life in a different way.
Yeah.
When you do that and when you face present reality, you really start to see life in a different way.
Yeah, we did that a lot in farm too. We didn't really accept what was going on, so it kind of, we didn't take the action necessary or make choices that we should have made. We just kind of like, we'll just go with the flow and see what happens.
Yeah, there's like, we really need to change something. We weren't taking any action on it.
We're just too relaxed on what we were doing. That leads us to the next part, which is having an action plan. Once you have a handle on your present reality, which is what you have now and where you want to go and the difference between the two, you come up with that plan of action. This is, these are the steps necessary to get you there. It may not necessarily always be what you want, but it's also necessary to get you where you want to go.
Now, we were doing a little bit of this when we were farming. We would put, little notes on the fridge, this is what has to get done. Yeah. But we had no big action plan. We had
no big vision.
Or, we weren't saying, in 5 years we were going to do this. In 1 year we were going to do this. It's so easy to get lost in what you're doing and get bogged down and frustrated that you're not thinking clear. So you're not like, oh, what do I have to do? What is my plan? I think, and that's, a part of what you lose when you get bogged down. You lose that clarity. There's you're spending all your energy on what is going wrong.
Right.
Right.
And clarity comes from engagement too. If you're not clear on something, don't be afraid to try out the waters. If you have something that you're passionate about or you want to do, try it. If it doesn't work, not necessarily don't work, but if it doesn't feel right, switch it up. So those are things we've learned a lot. I mean, you got to try out the waters because thinking about it and doing it are totally different things.
I mean, think about when you get married.
Right.
You're getting married. You haven't lived this life before. So you're taking an action to say, this is what we want to be as a couple.
Right.
You're doing it when you walk down the aisle or when you say, I do. You're taking action on a plan.
Yep. I think a lot of people get caught up in the marriage, thing and think that things are just going to fall into place. You're supposed to live happy ever after. Well, that's not always the case.
Right. You really have to, put your action, put it into a plan. This is my life. This is what I want to create for it.
Right.
We talked before we got married. This is how many kids we want. This is what we want to do.
Right.
Keep those plans with you and keep building upon those plans.
Right. And love is action, not just necessarily always words. People think, you just say I love you is enough. It's not. It's it's like if you're going to invest in something, you don't just wait for the last minute, invest in, hope that you have a great return. No. You make small deposits over time, and that builds to something greater in the end. And then you get greater return in the end.
Yeah, it's those little, those little things. Just those little things. They mean a lot, and they make a big difference.
They do. And that brings us to the next point. We call it the IFRA, I-F-R-A. Implement, feedback, research, and adjust. And once you start taking action, you're going to start getting immediate feedback, and you're going to start to know, am I moving towards what I want or away from what I want? And that's how you start to learn how to adjust. And sometimes when you're not getting the feedback you're not getting the results that you want, it's not necessarily that you're doing the wrong thing. It's just maybe you don't have enough education or knowledge and where you want to go. So sometimes it's more about researching a little bit more to find out, just a few small details that you need to take that makes a big difference. So you can't get discouraged when you start having, setbacks.
Right.
It really is no failure if you use failure as lessons towards where you're going.
This also goes with your own intuition. You feel it,
Right.
You ever said to yourself, this just doesn't feel right, and does somebody else say something to you, you should do this, And when you start to do it or you think about it, you just say, no, this doesn't really feel right. So this is the time to go with what feels right to you. You know, for your relationship, for your marriage, for your family, yourself. Go with what feels right to you, because outside influences are so easily,
right.
You know, they can change. They can change what you want to do. They can change your course of action.
Especially when you don't know where you want to go.
Right.
So those outside influences really affect you. That's probably one reason why we are today, is because we actually started this process 2 years ago when we started writing our book. We want to start helping people and relationships,
right.
But we let a lot of outside influences affect our direction, what we're going to teach, it just affected us. And I guess some things do have their timing, but it's important to stick to your own truth and learn how to learn your own truth.
Right, learn it. Yeah.
Being honest with yourself. That's how that really comes down to it.
Right. And then you'll just get to know when that feels not so good or so good.
Yeah, one. I almost forgot. And then when you get to your final step is your destination or your manifestation. That's when you actually have arrived to where you want to be. Now, once you get there, you can either live it and continue to live it and build upon it, or you may decide that that's not what you really want in the first place. But you have the opportunity to create something new anyhow.
Right. Sometimes this does happen in relationships. You hit a point where there's like a stale point. You're like, and then that's where the drifting comes in.
Yep.
And you can really create something wonderful with anybody that you're with. It's your family, your friends,
Kids,
your partner. You really can. And this is where we want to, you to bring out the best in yourself to reach, your goal, your outcomes that you put in, your vision. And it's so, we keep going back to it. It's easy to get bogged down.
Yep.
And, it's easy to stop having that clarity and to stop using the communication and stop using the thought that, my marriage is this way, I just can't fix it.
Especially after you have a kid, think, we should be married.
Yeah, we've seen this. We've seen this, and one thing that we just want to stress to you, that this is your dream, your goal, your life. You are the creator of that outcome, and it's the fun. Have fun in creating. I mean, if you want to have great sex in the bedroom, learn about it.
Right.
Research it. And have fun with it.
Experiment.
If you want to go and have more adventures with your kids or your family, go do it. Make time for it. Create time for it. Manifest it.
Yeah.
Manifest it with action.
Yep. Action is key. That's one of the things I always used to think growing up was like, I always used to think that my habits and my beliefs and everything would always stay the same. But I've come to realize that your likes and your beliefs and everything, they change over time. And so each one of us do that. And so the relationship as a whole, as a unit, it's going to change over time because each partner is changing.
Growing.
And, if you're going to grow, you should grow to, not necessarily together, but supporting each other.
We always say bring your uniqueness together, because we're all different. We all have different ideas and, thoughts and things that we want to do. And what's really, truly amazing that we've seen in our own experience is what we've went through as children, what we went through, the struggles together as a couple, and what we go through today. We're always growing with it, and we're always bringing it into relationship with the vision of how can we live this great life.
Yep. One of the things we found that's helped us a great deal is meditation, and how that centers us and, speaks to more of our own truth when we can, center ourselves and step away from the outside influences. So what we want to do for here today is we call this our happy place meditation, is take you into a short meditation. If you would, position yourself so you can
feel comfortable and relax.
And we'll go into this. So sit quietly, feet flat on the floor, palms open. Center yourself. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, then out. Feel your feet on the ground. Sense the sky above. Real sense the light and the goodness within the universe. And take in as you intake. And as you exhale, release your worry and your frustration, your negativity. Now go to a place that you cherish and hold dear, whether that's a person, a memory, a place, a time. Place your hand in your heart. Do you feel that? Is that amazing? Can you feel your heart expanding with joy and bliss? Notice how at ease you are, the calmness, the warmth of your heart. Stay here for as long as you like. Know that love is a choice. That you have the power to change your life. You have the power to influence others. You have greatness within you. You have the power to choose love.
This practice can be used for stress reduction, anxiety, and it even serves as a tool with sleep in. We use this especially helpful with our children. Before we tuck them in tonight, we have them go to their happy place.
They love it because it's a happy place.
They do. So, our little guy always says it's John Deere tractor. And our girl picks the beach or, swimming with the dolphins. It's your place. This is your place. We have used this during a children's retreat we taught at, and it was pretty amazing. We went around.
Kids really loved it.
We asked, each of the kids, what was their happy place. And it was really neat to hear them say, each of them with a different, unique happy place. This is just effective in many short doses, throughout the day. It helps you bring center. Having a bad day at work, we say go to your happy place. You're having a struggle with somebody that, you just get you a little tensed up, go to your happy place. You're preparing for a presentation, you're really nervous, anxiety, take a deep breath, go to your happy place meditation. Do a small happy place meditation. There is no right or wrong way to do it. You're waiting.
Do it while you're going to the bathroom.
Waiting in line at the store, doing house chores, stuck in traffic, you name it. Just breathe in and breathe out. Do it for a couple times. Breathe in, breathe out. Use that intuition. Find your happy place. Know what it is. And you're like, I really love the beach.
Yeah.
That's your happy place.
And it could be several happy places.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just one.
It doesn't have to be just one. Check in with yourself and see how you feel. You should feel more relaxed. Your mind a little quieter. And be proud. Be proud. You have just given yourself a moment of peace. And remember, no rules, because it's really your place of bliss. No outside influences. This is your place. Use it when you need to. Go to it when you need to. We love it. Like I said, we do it with our kids when we tuck them in every night and say our angel prayers. It's wonderful. We absolutely love it.
Yeah, we do.
We're so excited to share, our journeys with you, and we will over time.
Share more. We got a lot to share. We've discovered a lot of things, and this is our passion. We love to write. We love, we do videos on YouTube and have a blog and love sharing
Facebook,
stuff.
Twitter. You can find us on Twitter. It's just something we're very passionate about. It came, for me, the passion came through the whole experience. I started writing through my experience that I went through when we had our big transformation.
That was actually one of the things I used to do when you were younger.
I did. I used to write when I was younger, and then I had what happened to me happen, and I really just I like shut myself off. There was no flow there anymore. I totally lost it. And a big part of my healing that I went through was writing. Just through writing, you really get a lot of those emotions and thoughts out, and it really helped me through my healing process. After I released what happened to me, it was a big time in my life. You don't realize how just writing something that's in your mind and in your feelings can help you every day. I mean, even what you're grateful for, it can really help you every day.
Yeah. It's amazing how one thing can change your life now. Face reality and deal with it.
Yeah.
Having that door closed for so long, that's a big part of you. So it's great to have you back, though.
It does feel good. It does feel good. And like I said, this is something that isn't happened 10 years ago. This is something that happened within just a few years ago, with Eric and I, and when we made our transformation and when we renewed our vows. And after this time is really when we thought about, let's put these writings in a book. We were inspired by Brendon Burchard, actually, at this time to write a book. And so we thought about with the idea of writing a book, and it's hard to believe 2 years have passed since we kind of been gradually working on this book. We've set it aside. We've come back to it, thought about having a different idea with it. And now we've come back to putting it all in a book.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, quite the journey. Glad we're here now. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys like what we have here and what we're talking about, join us over on our website. That's Eric and Lisa Salisbury.com, all lowercase letters. There we share, all of our videos, our blog posts, our upcoming workshops. We're going to be offering workshops here pretty soon where we go into a lot of detail.
We're really stepping it up here. And, it's really funny because it's really funny to us where we are right now. And it's sometimes we sit back and we're like, oh my goodness, how did we get this far? And we went through all this stuff, but we're so passionate about it, and that's why we're really stepping it up here. And we've had people give us a little bit of nudge and
taking a leap of faith in themselves. You really, with that honesty and the present reality, you really have to learn to trust yourself enough to trust your intuition to do what you want to do. That's been a hard part for us because we let for so long fear get the best of us. We finally did it, and with this show, we said, we're just going to schedule it and we're going to go with it. Because if you don't, you just keep procrastinating. Oh, we'll do it. And finally, we said we're just doing it.
So as time goes on, we won't feel like the new kid in school anymore.
Yeah. Well, we got started with our video. Doing a video for YouTube was a contest.
Right. A contest offered by Brendon Burchard.
And we were so nervous. We totally blew we did the video, but we blew the points that we were supposed to talk about for the contest. There was had to come up with 3 something. I forget what it was.
We should really post that on Facebook again so that everybody can see our first video.
It was terrible, but it was the point of us getting out there, and we were really shaking and nervous, and we didn't really have a format or anything. But
you can do it once you get past that fear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. As crossing those barriers of your comfort zone, it is scary, but like when we're talking this show, we've become more relaxed as we stepped into this. We were pacing everything before the show started. We're like, oh my god, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and we were, didn't know what to do, and we were taking deep breaths. We did a short meditation, everything, but it's just you gotta take that step. That's the thing,
What's nice is that we really have each other, and I know some people feel like they have no support. But there are people out there that are supporting you. And once you start getting out there what you want to do and what you really love to do, share your dreams with people because you'll find that you do have more support than what you think. We have each other, but we also have other people supporting us. And once you start talking about your dreams more to your family, to your friends, it doesn't matter. Get your dream out there. Get out there what you want to do. If you have no idea what you want to do, create something you want to do.
Exactly. If there's something you always wanted to do, just explore it. I mean, it can start off as a hobby if really. It doesn't have to be a full-time gig or anything, really. Just really following your heart. Learning to follow your heart is so important because that's, when we're close to our heart, we're close to our home.
Right.
That's who we are.
Yep.
So.
I agree with that. I mean, never have I felt so much like I'm aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And it's so important because everybody around you feels it. Our kids feel it. Times when we were really frustrated with the farm, our kids were acting out. We couldn't figure out what was going on with them. And then we realized it was a reflection of ourselves. They were picking up on our frustration. We didn't realize it at that time, what was going on, until afterwards. And we really started to go through what we went through and realized that they were picking. We couldn't sleep. They couldn't sleep. And we're like, oh, now we get it.
Yep.
We're aligning ourselves with what we want to do and what we love to do. They're starting to sleep better. So it's so important, and you do have more support out there than what you think.
You do. That's, one reason we're out there, too, is we want to help support you in any way we possibly can. That's why we felt so compelled to get this book out. We're like, we got to help people. We know this works for us, and if they just implement just a small portion of what we're doing, they can really transform their life.
Right.
Speaking of the book, you want to mention some of the features in that book?
You get our 5 steps to manifest. This is our plan that we designed to get what you really want. Ways to gain freedom from doing what you love, and at the same time, get paid for it. We're working our way there. This is something we've experienced ourselves. How to become more resourceful by using your time wisely and money efficiently. We've always had to learn how to, use money efficiently. Communication skills that will help increase overall success in your career, life path, and relationships. Because life is about relationships. How to kick fear in the butt and take action that you need. Because it's about kicking that fear. How to maximize your full potential by creating abundant energy and excitement. How would you feel if you woke up every day with this excitement to get out of bed instead of slamming down that alarm clock? Self-empowerment, developing skills for this self-sufficiency. This is you using your power, what you have in front of you. You don't always have to go out and get them. You got them right in front of you. You know how to write, put it into action, create something with it. How to take your intimacy to a new level by connecting on a soul level and having, of course, a great sex life. A soul level is, aligning yourself with what you're here to do, and with relationships, with the one you care for, the one you love. How to get results you want through choices and actions you take, because it's all about action. Your choices, they may not lead to where you want to go, but when you're making a choice, you're also taking action. The benefits of building a dream team and working together. This is your support system. This is your time to build your dream team. Knowing that you're not alone and spiritual guidance is always available. This is something I felt from the time I was a little girl, from the time that my aunt passed away. If something was going wrong, I would call upon her. I always did this. I never felt like I was alone at this time.
We actually have some steps to take and how to, send out those prayers and thoughts and how to receive those through, we call it talking with angels.
Right, we call it talking with angels. But it's just a knowing that you're not alone, even in the physical. There's always something to call upon. Have you ever been in a time where you're like, oh, I really need some help right here?
You have a ground crew.
Yes.
Your, close family and friends, they're really here for you. Sometimes, we're all working here together, but we all have that support.
You can check out that part in the book on how to use that guidance. And one of the greatest things you're going to learn is the role of having clear focus and direction that keeps you aligned with your vision. Yep. Because it's your vision. This is your life. Know it, create it with a vision.
Yep. And that book is available at our website, Eric and Lisa, one word, -Salisbury.com. We also include a great bonus action plan guide where you can gain clarity and direction, learn how to evaluate your reality, learn how to make choices align with you, set standards. So you have, high standards give you, high return. Learn how to let go of what no longer serves. That's a huge, huge
that's
thing.
Huge.
I mean,
knowing from experience.
Yeah, we got, all that, when you don't let go, you carry all that weight and burden on your shoulders. It gets heavy over time.
It does get heavy over time.
You can't walk out there wild, some people. But, and, getting out of your comfort zone, taking down those barriers of fear and, so that you can create from,
past experiences, hurt, this, like we said right now, this is big for us. This is stepping out of our comfort zone, but it feels so right.
Yep.
Because we get to share with you and bring to you what we have learned through our own experiences.
Yeah, we're living it. We're stepping out of our comfort zone right now. So, be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, where we'll be speaking of the 3 trends all conscious couples face that keep them in constant disagreement in their relationship. So we'll be touching base on some of that stuff. And
of course, we didn't see any today, but you can chat with us.
Yep.
You can call in. We're here. We enjoy sharing with you.
Yeah, you can talk. You can submit questions on our blog, on our website, on our Facebook.
You want to get in touch with us, we're here.
What's the Facebook page?
Eric and Lisa Salisbury. So we're there. We're here for you. We're here consciously creating a great life.
We are.
Because it's all about harmony, and harmony is important. When when you feel the harmony in your heart, life flows. And trust us, you're not always gonna have those good times, but when you're more aligned with it, you're able to see the times, and you're able, to create with that goodness. When you have your heart open to it, that's what we're always saying. It's something you'll really learn that when something comes into your life, that it's just, we're going to get through that because we're creating.
Yeah. I really believe that we're all born with a unique gift. It's just finding what that gift is. And once you find it, you can build anything you want out of it. It can be a career. It can be a hobby. It can be, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, we've laid some really great stuff out in our book.
Yeah. Pretty much a guidebook to live the life that you've always wanted, and to have the relationships you've always wanted.
Yeah, because like we said, life it's really about relationships. Every day we go out there and encounter other people, and what wonderful, great thing it would be if that began in your home, in your own sense of being, with somebody you love and somebody you're with, and that's so wonderful.
Yep. So give a quick review of the 5 steps to manifest. Have a vision. That's your first thing. So identify what you want and where you want to go. Next, your present reality. Identify what it is now that you have, what you need, and the difference between the two to get to where you want to go. The third thing is an action plan. Once you identify what you need to identify the time frame that you want to have it accomplished within reason. You can be flexible with this, but it needs to be scheduled in. If you don't schedule it in, guess what happens? It just gets pushed off, and that it needs to be prioritized to be put in the schedule and taken action on. And then your IFRA, implement feedback, research, adjust. This is where you get out there, you start taking action, you get feedback. Either you're moving forward or away from what you want, your dream, your outcome, your relationship. And then you do some more research, educate yourself, and then adjust if necessary. And then finally, your manifestation, your destination, you get it. So that's when you live it, adjust it, whatever you want to do with it. And that's it for that.
Yeah, I really think it's great. You can, that's a bonus when you get our book. We put into that plan what we created, and we show you how to do it. And I think it's wonderful that, this is something we created through our own experience.
Yep. We are truly honored that you're here with us today.
We are.
We honor your courage, your commitment to yourself, your relationship, and your passion to change your life.
We are. We're so grateful.
We are. And so Like I said, tune in for next week. We'll be sharing the 3 trends all conscious couples face that keep them in constant disagreements in their relationship. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Until then, laugh often, live fully, and love